Hi guys, nice to have you along once again here on Mansfield. Today. Being a Tuesday, and being a Tuesday, of course, we talk things legal. Advocate Lance Brogden is our legal eagle. Hey, Lancey, nice to at least be able to see you across this Zoom. As you know, I'm in isolation at home, having come into contact with somebody who later tested positive for COVID. Um, but nice to be able to interact with you at least. It's amazing what modern technology has allowed us to do
No,
during this
Jim,
very difficult time.
absolutely, and thanks for being responsible. It's a good sign to all the people following us, and thanks to all those people out there. Following Mansfield today. Jim is showing how one should behave and be responsible, as we're going to touch on shortly in today's topics about very important responsible role to many of you.
Yeah, we're talking about the role of company directors. Why is it so important to understand the legal position of company directors, Lance?
Well, Jim, it's an ongoing elevation of concern and responsibility globally as to the role of directors and what they are accountable for, but also to what degree they can be held liable in their personal capacity. Um, a lot of people, especially young people, say, "Oh, I've just made a director of a company. It's fantastic. I'm a director. I can make decisions. I can do things." Yes, you can. And it is an honor to be a director. But with it comes some pretty heavy responsibilities. At the end of the day, a director is responsible to the company. A debate later on, is a director responsible to shareholders? We'll chat about that later. But you're responsible to the company and the interests of the company.
What okay, you've been made a director of a company. What legislation regulates your
Yeah.
activities as a director of that company?
Jeremy, simply, it's the Companies Act. Okay, the Companies Act regulates your duties, your responsibilities, but also, okay, your liabilities. So, in essence, the Companies Act touches on 4 points. Okay, the first being that as a director, any decision you make, you must have applied your mind, considered the facts, and be satisfied that you have an understanding of what decision you're making. Second point, okay, very important, is that a decision must be made. So you either make a decision as part of the board or advice to the board or influence that whole process of so a decision is made. The second point. The third point is that you as a director must believe and be confident, okay, that you've considered everything and that you believe you're making a good decision in the interest of the company, in the interest of the company. And fourthly, I think what one sometimes forgets about, another responsibility is that should you as a director become aware of anything out of kilter, unto do, whether it later become real or not, you must advise the board. The only time you don't advise them if it's something you believe is in the public domain or that they're already aware of. But if something is bugging you, that's the fourth point. You must bring it up and to the board. On the other side, there are liabilities. Okay, there's a big liability. Okay, you can be held accountable for making decisions that are not in the interest of the company. And there are a couple of areas. I'm not going to touch on all of them, but the one is, for example, if you committed the company to a contract, to an arrangement, but very importantly, but you didn't yet have the authority or there wasn't a resolution which was required, you have a problem. Okay. Two, if you are busy with something that is fraudulent, not correct, for example, changing minutes of a meeting for the well-being of all, to accounts, false accounting, those sort of things, you can be held liable personally. That is why we go back to the first thing. Bring up anything that concerns you. Just to say, well, I heard about it. You must bring it up to the board. Then I think one more thing. So in the company, you have a memorandum of incorporation, which decides on the rules of the company. And that's fine. Except You may not, if in the memorandum you put up something like, our directors are exonerated from A, B, C, or D. Okay. Be very, very careful. You may not. That's void. You can't refer back to the MOI and say, no, our directors don't have to follow this or that. The Companies Act overrules, and that's the primary source document to your responsibilities and your liabilities.
What about alternate and non-executive directors?
Right. So let's do alternate first. An alternate director, when falls in on behalf of a director, is a director. The same responsibilities and liabilities that we mentioned earlier on sits on that man or woman's shoulders. So the fact you're an alternate director doesn't mean you're exonerated from anything or you're not subject to the Companies Act. You are. Now, the interesting one, and it's debated all the time, I would say, well, I'm on this board, I'm a non-executive director. Trust me, the Companies Act and the world at large now does not allow you that luxury of thinking you're exonerated from any accountabilities or liabilities. We don't look at them differently. You're a director, whether you're executive, in other words, operational in the company on a day-to-day basis, or non-executive, which means that you will come to board meetings, be an advisor, might be on one of the subcommittees, finance and audit committee, ethics committee, etc., etc. You are equally responsible as a director.
Okay, so there's no sort of sneaking around that. But okay, hang on, Lance, answer this question for me then. With all of these responsibilities, with all of these liabilities and everything that goes with the director, no matter what form of directorship you hold in a company, why the hell would anyone want to become a director?
Okay, Jeremy, is the crux of it. One, if it's a private company or a personal liability company, the Act says you have to have one director. So if you want that business, one of you has to step up. If you're a public company or a non-profit operation, you have to have at least 3 directors. That's in terms of the Companies Act. Once again, your Memorandum of Incorporation, your MOI, may not be in conflict with the Companies Act. You may well, in your MOI, decide you want more directors. If that's your MOI, then you have to appoint more directors. I think the really important thing is why, it is an honor to be a director. It's an honor to take ownership. It's an honor to lead. You just have to do it within the Act. There's nobody trying to catch you out. So why you do is because, one, by law, you have to be there. And 2, as a responsible leader in a company, as you move up in your organization, it's an honor to take on that role. Just do it within the Act. There's no witch hunt here. So people should not be scared.
So you have the guidelines there, just use them, is basically what you say.
Very much so.
Okay, finally, if you become a director, what should you be keeping top of mind?
Okay, one is that you're responsible to the company. There's been a debate over the years, are you also responsible and accountable unto the shareholders? It's an ongoing debate, but recently in the middle of last year, I think it was June last year, the decision of the Supreme Court of Appeal, which said no, directors they represent the company and are accountable to the company, not the shareholders. But that's another long debate. I have my own opinions on that, but it was the Supreme Court, and guys far brighter than me and quite a big bench made that decision, but it's very recent. Up to then, it was debatable. So the one is, you are making decisions, you have to be serious. 2, you also have to look at your degree of professional indemnity cover, your insurance cover. Make sure the insurance is in place. You get PI, you get D&O. Another day we will discuss insurances for businesses, and we'll bring in some specialists to say what sort of insurance is out there. You are making decisions on a board level. Take it seriously. And as I said earlier on, if you're aware of anything out of kilter, bring it up. Once you've brought it up, it's on the table, it can be attended to. Never put one's head in the sand. Globally, it's a worldwide thing. Corporations are becoming stricter on the role of directors. And together with that, my last comment is, be aware of what's going on. Be sentient. Make sure that you understand when making a decision, you have looked at the possible, within your area of expertise, your realm of knowledge. Make sure you know what is going on. Okay? And then make a decision. Remember, boards vote. Somebody might vote against you. Somebody might, and mostly it's a majority vote. There are certain things that require a full vote. But apply your mind. It's captured, it's minuted, and make sure that you're looking after the interests of the company. By looking after the company, you look after the clients, you look after the employees, and indirectly, you will look after the shareholders as well.
Thank you very much for that insight into directorships. Advocate Lance Brogden, who handles the legal section of Mansfield today. Thank you for joining us once again, and we'll catch you same time, same place tomorrow for the medical show. Cheers, Lance. Bye-bye.
Cheers, Jim. Live long and prosper.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to you as well for tuning in. Bye-bye to you.
Sometimes there's so much you can show me.